Another post here. Although this new info scared me a bit at first, I think Maura had decided to leave Billy Roush regardless of whether he was planning some kind of rendezvous. The packed boxes with the email on top, the unreturned phone calls to Billy. That to me says that Maura had no intention to go and meet up with Billy Boy. What also makes me think she succeeded in escaping was Sharon Roush's threat to Maura about her welcome home gift, the Beretta. Had she left out that word, I might think she was faking concern and Maura could have been dead. The inclusion of it, however, is a threat, and a threat is usually made to a living person. So this supposed threat that this poster is insinuating is a threat, I actually couldn't track down exactly where this came from. John Smith has referenced this before on his blog, Sharon'S Plea. And the link he drops is voiceforthemissing.blogspot.com, Monday, October 3rd, 2005. The All-American Girl in Conclusion. And this is a blog by Kelly Jelkovsky, who is the mother of a missing son, Project Jason. This is her blog post, October 3rd, 2005. I wish for the Murrays and the Roushes that there will be a conclusion for their story, especially a conclusion that includes a happy reunion with a smiling, safe, and healthy Maura. If things had happened as planned, Maura and Billy would have been married by now. Perhaps they might even have a little Billy on the way as Maura dreamed. Maura and Fred would have had numerous outdoor adventures together as they loved doing. Sharon would have enjoyed time with Maura, chatting over a nice salad and sliced tomatoes, and increasing the quality and depth of their relationship. I would have probably never heard of this all-American girl with the sparkling eyes and dimples. I would rather I hadn't met her, because that would mean that she was never gone from the, and met in quotations, this Kelly Jelkovsky from Omaha, Nebraska, is, I guess she's saying she met Maura, as in she was aware of her disappearance, in quotations there, because that would mean she was never gone from the lives, hearts, and minds of the people who love her. I'd rather there was less pain for them. It is, however, not my choice nor theirs to make. It is what is. I watch these families as I work for them. I observe the phases, the high and the low points. I see me and my story in theirs in many ways. It can be like watching a movie about yourself and your family, except that other people are playing the roles. What is especially difficult to make is the transition from the beginning and active stages of the case to the time of watching it. In most cases, there are leads and tips early on that are followed up. When media coverage is flowing, often so do the leads. When this forward momentum comes to a halt, families are then left with being creative and keeping their missing loved one's story alive in order to keep after that missing piece of the puzzle that is the disappearance. Keep in mind, this is 2005 that this was written. This is the time when it can be easy to fall into the pit of despair. The mental and physical wear and tear may be at a high point for family members. The frustrations become magnified as the weeks and months and now years go by. It gets harder and harder to get media coverage and keep the public's interest. To my horror, I've even had family members tell me that someone else in their family told them to get on with their lives and forget about the missing person. In parentheses, not in Maura's family. So I'm assuming that's a quote from a different case in a different family. Maura's family is getting on in their lives without Maura, but they will never give up hope and give up the fight to find her. Fred's cousin, Norma, doesn't mince words when it comes to this battle. Quote, "We are different people now, never to be the same again. How could we be? How could we not be very different after what we have felt, heard, seen, or done for the last year and a half? How could anything ever be the same? Maura is not with us. We are a strong family to even be able to listen what has been passed on to us about what happened to Maura, true or not. Maura is our family member and friend, and she is obviously very much loved. She is gone, and we live with wondering. There are many people who would buckle under this kind of pressure of hearing what we hear about her, to say nothing of the frustrations of dealing with the many contradictions among witnesses." And which witnesses specifically is Fred's cousin Norma talking about here? She doesn't specify it. or the hope that comes with a possible sighting of Maura later having that hope dashed when it didn't turn out. Simply stated, we don't intend to buckle, we intend to find out what happened to Maura. My belief is that someone out there knows what happened to her. We will keep on in our quest. We will keep on keeping on in our quest to bring Maura home. So that was a quote from Norma's cousin here. I had not looked at that before. Another quote here, and I don't know who's talking to all these people. Is this Kelly Jolkowski of Project Jason, the one who did these interviews? Maura's friend Kate, and I'm assuming this is Kate Markopoulos, said, quote, "The whole situation has made me more aware of other missing people and signs that I see up all over the place." I suppose it could be Katie Jones also. "That otherwise I would never have noticed. It is a case of it won't happen to me or anyone I know. It just hurts. I find myself telling people I might not tell enough how much I love them and how much they mean to me." End quote. "I miss everything about her," said Crystal, Billy's sister. "I fear that I may never see her again or get to spend time with her. Maura's missing is like a nightmare that you try to wake from, but you are trapped in your bad dream. It is sad that it took her disappearance for me to realize that there are so many missing persons. I will always look at every missing person poster, memorize the face, and stop to say a prayer for the missing person and their loved ones." Nast said it so well. Quote, "Talking about her now makes me cry. We're the same age, for goodness sake, and we like to do a lot of the same things. I saw her one day, and the next day she was gone. I realized that life is short and so precious. But I am sorry to say that it takes a horrible situation like this to make others notice that life is short. Going to and doing workouts on the track is especially hard. I push myself harder and harder because I say life is short, and what if I don't get to do this tomorrow? What if I don't get to stretch on that track and talk to those people and run with them and see my family and friends later on in the day, just like I always do? What if it's all taken away in an instant? I try to be a better person. When I'm gone someday, I want people to remember me for being a good person and having shown kindness and humbleness throughout my life in the way Maura had done." So this is a fellow track member. She's been quoted before in Renner's book, I believe, regarding Haas and Maura as well, and Kate Markopoulos. Sharon has much to say about how her life has changed since Maura's disappearance. "The impact of Maura's missing has totally changed my life. I wish I could say it was for the better. Sadly, although in many ways I try to live for the minute, the not knowing and mystery of her disappearing has consumed my life. The best way I can think of it is likened to an addiction. Not only are thoughts of all that we are missing with Maura constantly being pictured in my mind, but also thoughts of what I can do to help find her, what can I do to garner resources of others that are better suited than we to assist us in finding her? What can I do for my son and for other loved ones who are truly suffering more than I? I have learned that grieving and healing from the loss of a missing person is much more complex than the grief and healing of a deceased person. We all still are grieving Maura's missing, and in many ways our heartache hasn't even begun to heal. Long ago, I chose to rear my 4 children with constant reminders of the Bible verse found in Romans 8:28. All things work together for good to them that love the Lord and are called according to his purpose. As I was raising my children, and even now in their adult years when we discuss a problem, regardless of how small, I remind them that God cannot tell a lie, and I quote them this scripture. I point out that it doesn't say all good things work together, but that all things means the worst of situations. I also mentioned the scripture that says, in this world we see through a glass darkly. Therefore, we cannot possibly know what good can come of some deep disappointment, heartache, or a living nightmare, as in the case of a missing person. Although I use this scripture for comfort in Maura's missing, I have yet to find the courage to remind my son, who loves her so dearly, of this Bible lesson, yet I know it to be true. God is not the author of evil. He is not the reason that Maura is missing. But I am convinced that he, in his infinite wisdom and in his time, will reveal to us why is it that we suffered this tremendous loss in our lives. There are days that I deal with Maura's missing as I know that God desires, and that is that I lean on him to ease my heartache, frustration, depression, and anger. I was surprised to learn that others also experienced anger because of a missing loved one. Other days, even with constant prayer, I find myself preoccupied with thoughts of her. Some days it is just a long river of tears, and very often on those days I talk to my husband or to my children, or occasionally I just have a talk with Maura while I cry. Sharon has a special message for Maura, but she wants us to first understand this. Quote, "It is a given that if Maura can read this, then she is alive, and I would want her to know that because she is alive, I thank God for answered prayer. Secondly, I would assume that if she has chosen to be missing of her own accord, that there must be something that she perceives as terribly wrong that prevents her from contacting any of us, and I would say, dearest Maura, please trust me, and please listen to me. I would like to speak for so many people that I have met that I know that love you, but I would not presume to know their inner thoughts and feelings, so I speak only for myself and for Big Bill. We have this discussion over and over. We want you to know that there is no problem that you may have that we cannot understand. There is no problem that you may have that we cannot find help for you. There is no problem or action on your part that we cannot forgive. Very simply, we will always love you. We wish you knew how very much our family loves you and longs to know that you are well. There is nothing that you have done or could possibly do that would diminish the love we have for you. We will always be here for you or to help you. There are times we feel guilty and we play over and over so many things in our minds. If we ever caused you to feel insecure in our love or to doubt that we wanted you to be part of our family, please forgive us. If you are choosing to be away, then I know that guilt does its number on you too. Don't be afraid to come home, to come to Ohio. I recall the fear and love in your voice when you called for advice when Billy was so ill during January 2002. Do you recall that fear? It pales in comparison to the fear we experienced because you are missing. Because you have been gone for so long, you surely must have doubts and fears about returning. This is understandable. But here, nothing has changed the way Big Bill and I feel towards you. We just regret that we didn't openly share with you how much we love, admire, and respect you. Most of all, we just want to hold you and smother you with our love and hugs while you blush and giggle. Call us, collect, email us, write us with no return address. Contact us in any manner you choose, but please let us know that you are among the living. Hopefully you will return soon. Your old room is waiting. The Beretta is waiting. Most of all, we are waiting. And if God forbid you are being held against your will, trust in God, be strong, do what you can to get away, and if possible, get word to us. Be confident that your dad will never rest in his search for you, and many more of us will never give up our pursuit until you are home. All of my love and prayers, Sharon. P.S. Thought that you would want to know, Joseph is comforted with Harry on the opposite side of shredded navy. I know you get it. Smiley face. I don't have. She's referring to the the stuffed animal monkeys. But finishing this blog post by Kelly Jilkowski of Project Jason. I don't have any idea what the shredded navy message is about, but I know that Maura does, and I hope and pray that you can read this and remember the special time with Sharon that prompted this. When I started writing this story, I mentioned that it is a difficult one to write. I see Maura as a female counterpart to Jason in the level of mystery and the ability to still have hope based upon what we know. I feel a kinship with Sharon as we share nearly the same philosophies about our faith and the part it plays in our lives now. Because of this, I know that no matter how long we are to live with this, we will be able to go on with our lives, even if it means those lives don't include Maura and Jason. We know we will see them again, we just do not know when and where. That is our comfort and our cause for joy. And Anonymous commented here, but signed Sharon, advocate for Maura Murray. Dear Kelly, I have been searching for the proper words to express to you my appreciation and gratitude for the heartfelt and touching manner in which you presented the story of Maura's missing. It must surely seem odd to many that there are those of us who find ourselves very connected to the lives of others who are living in some tragedy. It was a surprise to me to learn that Maura's missing is to you the female counterpart of Jason's missing, because I too have been drawn emotionally into Jason's case by the very same feelings. I pray frequently for both of them and all of us that love them. And so, dear Kelly, thank you for the words from your heart about Maura. Thank you for all you have done for me, for Maura and her family. Thank you for Project Jason. Thank you for Jason's Law. Thank you for compassion, strength, and your conviction to help all of us that have a missing loved one. Thank your family for sharing you with us. God bless you always. Fondly, Sharon, advocate for Maura Murray. Okay, so here's the thing though. In how many missing persons cases are letters like this written where the family suspects that the person ran away and doesn't want to come back? Or family, friends, whatever, the mother of the boyfriend, possible ex-boyfriend. It's curious, and the way it's phrased is also curious, but I've brought this up before. Is this because law enforcement somehow pressured them or somehow just inundated them with information that there was no sign of foul play and that they interviewed friends and it seemed like Maura ran away of her own accord? Whether that was true or not, and again, whether law enforcement knew it was true or not, it's all irrelevant, but is that why Sharon wrote this? And the Beretta is, of course, referring to a vehicle. Now, she does specifically state that there's nothing that they won't forgive or help her with, etc. Did Maura report Bill Rausch to his CO or someone else at the military at Fort Sill? Or was she planning to? And would a mother forgive that of Maura Murray? Is she lying when she said she would forgive Maura anything? And then the other thing that also jumps out is Big Bill, Bill Rausch's father, who I still haven't been able to find a single comment from him on this case. Is that curious? Some people believe that's curious, especially with how public Sharon is. I mean, has Big Bill ever appeared in the media anywhere for any reasons? Does he have some kind of DC connections? Is Bill Rausch's father the main piece of the puzzle that's unaccounted for and that can make all of this make sense regardless of whether the Rausch family are the good guys or the bad guys? But anyway, going back to this poster believes that including the vehicle, the Beretta, because she could have just said the car is waiting. Unless, if they specifically had conversations about how much Maura Murray liked the Beretta, specific model, that was her favorite model of the car, that could make sense. Otherwise, you might just say the car, I don't know. But anyway, in response to this commenter's post that Sharon was threatening Maura and believed her to be alive at that time, a response here: unless she was compromised by someone by this time, and all the calls, emails, and actions were not Maura. And a response: she made it to the ATM though, and then a response to the ATM: if the timestamp is accurate and wasn't altered, they only had 13 years to mess with it before letting the public see it. Hard to say. And what I bring up all the time is if the Pentagon doesn't even have accurate timestamps, we can't expect some random ATM in 2004 to have random timestamps. And as I've mentioned before, from ATM technicians who have posted about this in forum, not about the Maura Murray case, just in general CCTV footage, approximately half of CCTV cameras had the wrong timestamps on them, either the wrong time or the wrong time and date. About half. So it's a 50-50. And my response here: compromise could also mean her actions were being influenced by threat or otherwise. Someone could have been waiting for her outside of the ATM in a vehicle, not the Saturn. Why not release the entire video? Why not release the liquor store footage? Why not release the UMass parking lot CCTV footage if she was really alone? Or if it was really her.